Welcome to our U.S. Briefing Show. Today, we're diving into some exciting and intense stories from across the nation and beyond. First up, massive protests called No Kings are sweeping across the U.S., with nearly 2,000 locations rallying against President Trump's perceived authoritarian moves. These demonstrations are peaceful but powerful, demanding respect for free speech and challenging the militarization of the government. It's a lively scene with millions expected to join in. Next, in Washington, D.C., the nation is celebrating the Army's 250th anniversary with a spectacular parade. Tanks, aircraft, and parachutes will light up the sky, coinciding with President Trump's 79th birthday. While some critics worry about costs and safety, officials are all set for this grand military showcase, rain or shine, to highlight America's strength and history. Finally, on the international front, North Korea is ramping up its navy with plans to build a blue water fleet, possibly with help from China and Russia. Meanwhile, the Middle East is experiencing a realignment as Israel acts independently, striking Iranian sites and weakening Hezbollah without U.S. approval. These shifts show a changing global landscape, with regional powers asserting their influence. Please continue to watch for more details. The Associated Press reports that cities across the United States are bracing for large-scale protests against President Donald Trump, with the No Kings demonstrations scheduled to take place in nearly 2,000 locations nationwide. These protests, organized by the 50501 movement, aim to oppose what they see as authoritarian tendencies of the Trump administration, emphasizing nonviolent resistance and civil rights. Participants are expected to rally against the militarization of democracy, billionaire influence in politics, and Trump's celebration of the Army's 250th anniversary with a costly parade on his birthday. Leaders from various states have called for calm and have mobilized the National Guard to prevent violence, while organizers hope for a peaceful, massive turnout to challenge Trump's perceived excesses and to honor democratic values. Meanwhile, the Army's 250th anniversary celebration in Washington, D.C., features a grand military parade that Trump has long desired, involving tanks, aircraft, and thousands of soldiers, with an estimated cost of up to $45 million. The parade coincides with Trump's 79th birthday and Flag Day, and is intended to showcase military might with a spectacle of historic equipment, a parachute jump, and fireworks. Despite the grandeur, the event faces criticism over its expense and the potential disruption to city streets, which have been protected with metal plates and security fencing. The parade symbolizes Trump's penchant for showmanship and his desire to elevate military displays, even amid concerns about political politicization of the armed forces and the weather, which could delay or overshadow the event. In Los Angeles, the situation is tense as Marines, dressed in combat gear and armed with rifles, have taken the place of National Guard members guarding federal buildings during ongoing protests against immigration raids. These protests, which have led to clashes with police and hundreds of arrests, have prompted California Governor Gavin Newsom to sue the federal government, accusing Trump of overreach and a breach of state sovereignty. The deployment of federal troops, justified by Trump as necessary to quell rebellion, has sparked controversy and legal battles. Protesters continue to rally outside federal buildings, waving flags and holding signs, while law enforcement and military personnel maintain a strong presence to prevent violence. These developments highlight the heightened tensions across the country, with communities responding to Trump's policies with protests and federal actions that threaten to escalate conflicts and challenge civil liberties. Nikkei Asia reports that the U.S. government's reversal of Biden's initial block on the Nippon Steel and U.S. Steel deal marks a significant turning point in the complex saga of foreign investment and national security. President Trump's executive order, signed in June, waived the previous prohibition contingent upon a national security agreement, NSA, between Nippon Steel, U.S. Steel, and the U.S. government, an agreement that includes commitments to invest approximately $11 billion by 2028 and governance measures like a golden share for the U.S. government. This decision followed a detailed review by the Committee on Foreign Investment in the United States, CFIUS, which had initially failed to reach a consensus. The deal, initially blocked due to concerns over foreign control of a vital American industry, was finally approved after Nippon Steel agreed to a full acquisition, promising to bring significant investments and job creation, with Trump emphasizing the deal's potential to generate 70,000 jobs and inject billions into the U.S. economy. The high-stakes political backdrop, including the influence of the 2024 presidential race and union opposition, underscores the delicate balance between economic interests and national security. Australian Broadcasting Corporation highlights the booming demand for lamb in Australia, with record prices being set across sale yards nationwide. In Wagga Wagga, a pen of 131 crossbred lambs sold for an astonishing $424 per head, and at Griffith, heavy lambs reached up to $431, both records in Australian history. Industry veterans like Ron Rutledge and Peter Cabot describe the market as phenomenal, driven by a supply shortage caused by drought conditions in southern regions, which has accelerated producers to sell their stock while processing demand remains robust. Despite the global economic pressures, including the impact of tariffs on Australian exports to the US, the export figures for 2024 indicate a slight increase, with the US remaining the largest importer. Prices are expected to stay high through winter, with the premium paid by supermarkets reflecting the tight supply and strong international demand, although consumers are already feeling the pinch at the checkout, paying premium prices for lamb cuts. The Australian Broadcasting Corporation also explores the shifting power dynamics in the Middle East amid escalating tensions. Israel's recent strikes on Iranian nuclear sites and the assassination of Iranian security officials reveal a willingness to act independently, often bypassing U.S. influence. Despite Trump's efforts to mediate and maintain strategic alliances, Israel has demonstrated a growing autonomy, striking Iran and Hezbollah targets without prior U.S. approval, signaling a regional realignment. Iran's influence has waned due to the loss of key allies like Hezbollah and the Syrian regime, compounded by the assassination of top officials and the inability to maintain its proxy networks. Meanwhile, the U.S.'s dwindling influence is evident as it struggles to curb Israel's military actions and manage rising tensions between Iran and Israel, threatening its broader regional plans. Netanyahu's bold moves and regional shifts suggest a new era where Israel seeks to reshape Middle Eastern power balances, with Iran's weakened position and the U.S. increasingly sidelined in a landscape marked by conflict and strategic reassertion. According to Yahoo US, President Donald Trump has recently signed legislation that effectively blocks 17 states, including Washington, from continuing their push towards electric vehicles, EVs, by revoking California's authority to impose stricter emission standards. This move was celebrated at the White House, where Trump criticized the Biden administration's policies and the push for EV adoption, claiming it would harm the economy and undermine American manufacturing, especially for large trucks vital for goods transportation. Washington's Attorney General and California's counterpart swiftly responded with a joint lawsuit arguing that the federal government's action violates constitutional principles and federal statutes, emphasizing the importance of clean transportation for public health and climate change mitigation. The legislation faced bipartisan support in Congress, though it faced opposition from Democratic senators and state officials who argued it undermined state rights and environmental progress. Washington officials expressed their commitment to continue working toward cleaner transportation despite federal setbacks, highlighting ongoing investments in EV infrastructure and industry adaptation, with some industry groups criticizing the federal move as harmful to the trucking sector and overall environmental goals. Meanwhile, South China Morning Post reports that North Korean leader Kim Jong-un has announced an ambitious plan to develop a blue-water navy capable of operating across the open oceans, a significant escalation in Pyongyang's military strategy. During a launch ceremony at the port of Rajan, Kim unveiled a new multi-mission destroyer, signaling a push to extend North Korea's naval reach far beyond its coastal waters, ostensibly to counter perceived threats from the United States and its allies. Kim's rhetoric emphasized defending national sovereignty and asserting navigation rights in international waters, with hints at future operations reaching U.S. and allied bases in the Pacific. Experts suggest this naval expansion, including plans to build additional destroyers and develop nuclear-capable long-range ships, may be coordinated with Russia and China, aiming to establish a strategic containment line against U.S. influence in the region. Analysts warn that this move increases the risk of conflict, especially if joint exercises with Russia materialize, and highlight the logistical support from China and Russia, which are believed to assist North Korea's military buildup due to its limited domestic capabilities. This naval development signifies a notable shift toward open-ocean military operations, potentially altering regional security dynamics and heightening tensions in East Asia. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 6Do team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6Do Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6Do team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6Do Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 6dobrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6Do Brief via email.
Lights dim, voices loud, headlines flashing wild. World in a frame and now, stories told, it's time to vow. Eyes glued, truth pursued, understanding woven through. Heartbeats race breaking through, knowledge spreads the new view. Breaking the news, breaking the day, truth and insight our way. Every story, every play, live and clear we convey. Shadows lift, facts unfold, moments chasing, stories told. Heroes, villains, tales of old. In this hour, truth is gold. Depths revealed, voices bright, news in focus, black and white. Every angle sheds some light, morning, evening, through the night. Breaking the news, breaking the day, truth and insight our way. Every story, every play, live and clear we convey. Truth and insight our way. Truth and insight our way. Breaking the news, breaking the day, truth and insight our way. Every story, every play, living clear we convey. Every story, every play, and clear we convey. Truth and insight our way. Truth and insight our way. Depths revealed, voices bright, news in focus, black and white. Every angle sheds some light, morning, evening, through the night. Breaking the news, breaking the day, truth and insight our way. Every story, every play, live and clear we convey. Breaking the news, breaking the day, truth and insight our way. Every story, every play, and clear we convey. Truth and insight.